Hi everyone, welcome to AFTV News Daily. I'm here with Turkish. How you doing, Turkish?
Long time.
I've got a bit of a smile on my face because as I'm scrolling through Twitter, which I have open just in case any breaking news, Edu's popped up on my timeline.
Look at him. Look at him enjoying life with Raul.
So I don't really know what's going on here. I think you know a little bit more about this because we were just laughing about it. Edu's on holiday with Raul Sanyehi, who was recently sacked by Arsenal.
Yeah,
a year ago.
Under a cloud of negative rumours, really.
Well, they don't look that bothered about the lack of transfer activity. Although to be fair, if I were Raul, I wouldn't care one bit. But it does. You know what? No other club has their main head of recruitment out on holiday in mid-July.
We've already seen pictures of him jet skiing. Now he's just there chilling, cruising. It looks like.
Know, with that first one, you think, come on, it's the start of the summer. He's going to have a holiday. Everyone's entitled to that. You know, work isn't life, and it's important to remember that. But he seems to be away again because I'm telling you, that's not London.
No, it's definitely not London.
That's not the River Thames. I've been on that boat tour and it's shit. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. It does make me. Listen, it might just be dinner, but I don't know. Maybe Raul's doing us a little favour.
It doesn't really happen at other clubs, and
it doesn't, does it?
Oliver here says, "Why can't Edu work and still go on holiday?" He can, but like James said, why is it our club that this happens to? You know?
But that's why we're laughing, because if we're actually vexed by this, I think we'd be breaking it down for 15 minutes of the show. We're not. We could be light-hearted about things, all right? Like, Edu's a club legend, one of the Invincibles. We know whether he does a good job or not. I trust that he is trying to do the best job he can at the club. I do trust that he's trying to do what he can.
I can't argue against that.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Whether there's a competence thing in that role is another thing. But I do find it with jet skis one week.
And I think if you scroll further down, you'll see Kia what's his name, Jurabchian. With them.
I heard rumours that he was around. I don't know.
If he is, yeah.
If he is, imagine that. But it just is quite funny. You don't see Ed Woodward on a.
That's exactly what I thought. Ed
on
Woodward.
A chest. What are those? What do they call when you sit like a parachute on the back of a boat?
Yeah.
Paraglider.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? But he has Jadon Sancho nailed and Varane on the ring. So in fairness,
and he's leaving him at the end of the year, and he's still doing a bit of business.
I know. Imagine that. Anyway,
you know what it reminds me of? Do you remember that summer? I don't know. It's years ago now, so you would have been a very young man. But do you remember that picture that came out of Wenger coming down some slide?
Yeah, no, I have seen it.
And that summer we was doing fuck all in the market, and I was just looking at this guy like, what's this guy doing on inflatable slides? Yeah, whilst we're struggling, starving in the transfer window.
My favourite was deadline day. About 4 or 5 years ago,
when he said he doesn't keep his phone on him or something.
I think it was one of those times, but he was spotted on a plane, and everyone's like, "He's going to get Benzema or Cavani." He was on a plane to Paris. I thought he was going to get Cavani, and he was actually off to referee a charity match.
Imagine.
Thinking, what are you doing?
Imagine. That shows the fan base as well. The way we put two and two together sometimes. Yeah,
incredible.
We create a story that we get upset with later, and then put pressure on them.
Oh, it's mad. Anyway, let's get into the actual news of the day. There's a lot to cover. We're going to start with Arsenal potentially targeting Tammy Abraham. We'll talk about whether we want him, how likely that rumour is, all that stuff. We're going to talk about Bukayo Saka, who put out a statement. I was going to say this now if we go into it. He didn't need to do that, but he did. And what he said, I think it's important we read through it. We're going to read a statement from Arsenal later, who've also unveiled some news to us about fans having more of a say in the running of the club, so we're going to go into that, but I'm not going to read their whole statement, A, because it slightly annoys me, and B, because we'll take the essentials out, but we're going to read the whole Bukayo Saka statement out, because I think he deserves that. He deserves for everyone watching this to hear what he has to say. And we're going to talk about Joe Willock as well, and this potential move, Willian, some other stuff going on. There's a lot to chat about, so let's go straight into it. Tammy, before I do, actually, I'm just going to move this out of the way because we put this for show, but I'm less on the hydration game and more on the sorry Cristiano. I'm more on
anti-Ronaldo here.
I think they call it bulking.
Is that what you're doing? Yeah.
I don't know. If it means I can drink Coke, sure.
Enjoy.
That's what athletes do, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, okay, fair enough. All right. Tammy Abraham. Some big journos. in and around the Chelsea world, basically reporting exclusively today that Arsenal are one of the clubs interested in signing Tammy Abraham. Now, let me tell you a word that I'm numbed by now. Interested.
Yeah. Interested. What a word.
I'm quite interested in a Lamborghini, but I ain't getting one.
So you're not advanced in negotiations yet?
No, far from it. I picked up to the Lamborghini store and they just said no, go away. You're too poor.
But you did show interest.
I showed interest. Yeah,
You showed ambition.
A little bit of ambition. Not that ambitious really.
Yeah.
So I settled on a. I don't even have a car. I am quite numb to this word now. This word interested, but it is out there, so we should talk about it because sometimes interest in Ben White actually becomes what Ben White is now, which is close to a move to Arsenal. So worth talking about. What's your kind of reaction on this news that Tammy Abraham is a target?
Listen, I'll start off by saying Tammy Abraham's a decent player.
Yeah,
that's what I'll start off by saying, but I think that's where it ends. I'm not too interested in Tammy Abraham, and I look at other strikers that have gone in this market already. And the price tags they went for, Dakar and Silva, both for 23 mil.
Yeah.
And I think if any team's interested in Tammy Abraham now, you're going to look to spend 25-30 on him potentially with
best,
with the English tax involved.
Yeah.
And that would just make me think if we are interested in Tammy, it would show incompetence again, because there was other strikers out there that, in my opinion, fit the profile that we need a bit more.
Yeah. I think you're spot on. Actually, I hadn't even thought about the other strikers who have gone in this market so far, and actually that sets a tone. You know, who bought Tammy Abraham? Sorry, not Andre Silva. Was it Leipzig?
Yeah, Leipzig. Yeah, they quickly replaced Dakar with Silva.
They do quick business, don't they?
They don't mess it up.
I've got to say, did Dakar come from Leipzig?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got to say, oh no, Salzburg.
Was it Salzburg?
Yeah, I think it came from Salzburg, the other Red Bull side.
Okay.
Either way, the point is,
223 million strikers there.
It's actually really got. Yeah, there we go. It's actually got me thinking that we Arsenal need to start looking at what everyone else is doing in the market, what they're getting players for, and in all fairness, there's not a lot of business getting done, but that should really be the benchmark for certain players, especially in positions you don't need. Now, if Arsenal want to overspend on a Locatelli, let's say, or a Van der Beek's a terrible. Okay,
or Ben White even, because 50 mils a lot of money.
I would understand, because it's a position we need to fill, and if you see them as a long term, right? What's Locatelli, a £35 million player? If we got him for 55, I would look more at the ambition Arsenal are showing rather than start scrutinising whether they've overpaid or whatever. The point is, I'd say fair play, you got who you wanted and you got it done.
90% of deals are overpaying now.
Yeah, they are. They really are. My thoughts on Tammy Abraham really are, I've not seen enough to be excited by this signing if it were to happen. Do I think there's raw potential there? Yes, because I actually think he's a better finisher than people give him credit for. He's athletic, he's fast, he's tall. I don't actually, for his stature, I don't know if his kind of hold up plays the best. I think he's actually a better poacher. I think there's this kind of like lazy narrative with players to say he's 6'4", he must be good at holding up the ball. Eddie Nketiah is actually quite good at holding up the ball, but he's not a particularly strong guy. Lacazette, we know, isn't the tallest, and he's very good with the ball at his feet and his back to goal. So I think Abraham would come in as just someone who finds the net. But if you're going to get an Abraham, you need the players behind to be functional, creative, to do a lot of the carrying the heavy kind of load up to the penalty box. That's just what I'm getting from Abraham off watching him, for 2 years at Chelsea, seeing a little bit of him. I think he's a fine player, but I wouldn't want to miss out on any other time. Ben White's different. We lost David Luiz. Saliba's deemed not ready, and I think we've given our opinions on Saliba, right? We haven't seen him in training. If Arteta and them not really think he's not ready, fine, I'll take that one on the chin. But that makes the Ben White deal make me think, okay, well, in fairness, because I don't think Holding's really at the level to start week in, week out, though a decent player. So I can see this extra spending on White. Yeah, with Abraham, I don't really see it.
Can I just stop you there? Because Assad has highlighted that Chris Wheatley just tweeted 6 minutes ago.
Oh, wow.
The William Saliba move to Marseille has been made official by Arsenal's Twitter and Arsenal's account.
Bloody hell.
Edu has added to that by saying, together with William, we have decided it will be good for his continued development to spend another season on loan. William joined us as an 18-year-old and he is still only 20, so he is still developing all the time. Now, what I take from this is, again, lies.
Do you think?
And I say that because when William Saliba comes back next season, the power's in his hands with 2 years remaining. But if we're also going in for Ben White at 50 million, and then we bought Gabriel for 27 million, are we saying that William Saliba will continue his development and come back in as our third choice centre-back? Or would he replace Ben White and make a 50 million Ben White our third choice centre-back? It just doesn't sound realistic to me. If we're going in to spend 50 million on Ben White, that makes him a top 5 Arsenal signing in terms of fee. Yeah. So William Saliba going out to develop again for another season, regardless if he's 20, 21 or 22 in the next couple of years, we're buying a 23-year-old English centre-back. That's 50 mil. Where is the space for William Saliba next season?
No, I echo that completely. I was always on the side of thinking, well, let's be patient because you never know. And he does need the years to develop, maybe.
Yeah.
Having said that, I'm now leaning more towards the side of, let's face it, we're just hoping he kind of proves himself another year and maybe we recuperate as much as we did of our fee. I'm resigned to thinking that Arteta's not convinced by him. But listen, I could easily be wrong about that. You could easily think, no, he's going to play for Marseille, a massive French club. He's going to play week in, week out for the next year, and he'll be ready to be one of the 3-4 starting centre-backs next season. Sometimes you rotate in and out. We might be back in the Europa League. We might have a miracle get back into the Champions League, in which case there's more game time. I'd like to have seen him stay, but I'm sort of over the William Saliba saga just because I haven't seen him play.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. But yeah, okay, a bit of French football, but I've not really seen him play, and so I wasn't as massively wedded to the idea of Saliba being our saviour like other people were, let's just say.
Yeah.
A good example, as good as Saliba was last year, do I think he would have, if he'd played last season, that he'd have been better than Luiz and Gabriel? I don't. I think Luiz had a very good season, actually. I thought Gabriel had a good first season. I don't think he'd have played ahead of them, so I can kind of make my peace with it a bit more. But interesting that's happened as we're live. Thanks, Arsenal. Cheers.
It was on Tammy Abraham, but I know you went on to Ben White a bit about the transfer fee and whatnot, being a priority in comparison to striker.
Yeah.
That news just...
Isn't that amazing how that just sort of, but yeah, to round off that Tammy Abraham thing, let's watch what happens. I'll be honest about the strike situation. If we do the business in midfield in the defence, so what are we saying? We've got backup left back, Ben White, a right back.
How sure are you Ben White's going to be a centre back for us next season?
Pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty convinced.
90-10?
Yeah, I'm pretty convinced he's going to be.
Okay,
yeah. So a right back, Lokonga, and a number 10 / central midfielder, whatever that might be. Really, we need both. We need another central midfielder and a number 10. But let's say maybe that. If we sort out what's behind the strikers, I still have a sneaky feeling you'll get some decent return from Lacazette and potentially a very good return from Aubameyang. I still think they are capable of scoring at the highest level.
Yeah, I think the priority for Arsenal Football Club is our transition.
Yeah.
The transition in modern day involves fullbacks as much as it involves the central midfield area.
Yeah.
And that's the two positions we need to attack. We have got some quality up top, not just who you just mentioned with Laka and Oba. I mean Saka, Emil Smith-Rowe, Martinelli's another one, Pepe's another one. We have 4 very young, bright attacking players. So I think if we can aid that transition from centre-back, full-back, midfield, Ben White could potentially help that with some of the things I've heard about how he plays out the back. That's all good and well, but all of them need to be fixed. And
there's goals in that front line. So if Aubameyang hits a 20-goal season like he did last year, he wasn't at his best. But let's say, I think the problem with Aubameyang wasn't his rate of scoring. It was what he was doing when he wasn't scoring.
Yeah.
And actually in the past, he's always been a threat in behind. He's always looked like he might nick a goal or whatever. And he looked flat last season. If Aubameyang rediscovers his touch, Lacazette finds some form, they don't need to be 30, 40 goal a season strikers right now. We understand they're in the twilight of their career because Saka, Smith Rowe, Pepe especially, I think will chip in with goals.
And we have to hope for that because we lack goals from midfield in a sense. And
so to kind of sum up, as we've spoken about it and kind of broken it down, the Abraham deal really doesn't actually make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Really. Let's go. Do you have any super chats you want to go through?
Got a couple here. Let me just go back up quickly. First one here is from Mahesh. He says, I keep getting a feeling Arsenal don't have a particular transfer strategy. I'd agree with you there. I don't think Edu or Arteta has an exact idea of what we want. Would you agree with that too?
Yep. I strongly agree with that. I've decided that in the last week that I don't think they know what they want to do.
Yeah.
I think they know what they're doing in terms of
trying to replace.
I think they know that they don't know what they want to do. What I mean by that is we keep hearing, AFC Bell say, Arsenal are assessing the market. So I think they know that they're not really in control of it, but they're just hoping that something emerges. James Maddison might just turn around to Leicester and go, I want the move. Or Real Madrid, as in the last couple days, we've heard Madrid are saying, actually, we might have to sell an Odegaard. Right? So I think they're kind of hoping for things to pop up, and maybe they've got backups.
Like it did with Ozil, like it did with Sanchez, like it did with Cech, essentially.
And how many successful seasons did we have after that?
Not really.
No, in fairness, a few, but it's a lottery, isn't it?
Yeah, a few when you look at it one way, not many when you look at it another. We have KD here with a super chat as well. He says, James and Turkish, do you think he will fit into our system? He being Abraham, he is a modern hybrid striker, but he did have a good season in 2019-20. And he did have a good season 2019-20. I'll give him credit for that. Yeah.
He was a starting striker in a side that finished in the top four.
Yeah.
So he's kind of proven he can do that. I've always felt that in Abraham's time at Chelsea as a first teamer, for all his kind of work rate and everything he does, whenever Chelsea have really needed it, they start Giroud. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys can tell me I'm wrong. I like him, by the way.
This is a weird one for me. I'm going to let you take this one, James. Dane. Big up Dane as well from yesterday, I remember. We still have holes in the squad, i.e. right wing. I thought right wing is the strongest position we have in the whole team, if I'm honest, because you have Saka and Pepe there.
For a couple of years, we had no one. We had like 10 years of Walcott.
Do you think right wing's a problem?
No. I think I'm with you. I think it's our best position because Pepe's really turned around for me. I now think we might have a superstar on our hands.
Let's hope so.
Whereas 6 months ago I was saying
it's
just not it for this league, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then Saka just continues to prove what a star he is. So yeah, I disagree personally.
Yeah,
but
that was a weird one, Dane. Maybe elaborate on that later. I'll try and catch the chat. So let us know what you mean by that.
Should we go through this Bukayo Saka statement?
Let's do it.
So for anyone who doesn't know, Bukayo Saka has put out a statement today, which I want to keep reiterating. Oh, sorry, Dane sent in a super chat saying he meant right back.
It makes a lot more sense because we don't have anyone there.
Yes, there we go. Saka put out a statement, which I'm going to read out in a sec. I want to reiterate, he didn't need to do this. And I have so much love and appreciation for him anyway, but the fact that he did, I think, shows what kind of an honest, upfront character he is. Yeah. The opposite of Arsenal.
Yeah. We're losing if we're not careful.
Yes, I echo that. So I'm going to read this statement out. Apologies, guys. It's I know I'm reading the whole thing, but I think it's important that we hear it from him. This is what he had to say. I've stayed away from social media for a few days to spend time with my family and reflect on the last few weeks. This message won't do justice how grateful I am for all the love that I have received, and I feel that I need to thank everyone who has supported me. It was an honour to be a part of an England squad that leads by example. They are brothers for life, and I am grateful for everything that I've learnt from every one of the players and staff who worked so hard to help that team reach our first final in 55 years. Seeing my family in the crowd, knowing that they've given up to help me get there, that meant everything to me. There are no words to tell you how disappointed I was with the result and my penalty. I really believed we would win this for you. I'm sorry that we couldn't bring it home for you this year, but I promise you that we will give everything we've got to make sure this generation knows how it feels to win. My reaction post-match said it all. I was hurting so much and I felt like I'd let you all and my England family down, but I can promise you this, I will not let that moment or the negativity that I've received this week break me. So I'll clap that bit. For those who have campaigned on my behalf and sent me heartfelt letters, wished me and my family well. I'm so thankful. This is what football should be about. Passion, people of all races, genders, religions and backgrounds coming together with one shared joy of the rollercoaster of football. To the social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter and Facebook, I don't want any child or adult to have to receive the hateful and hurtful messages that me, Marcus and Jaden have received this week. I knew instantly the kind of hate that I was about to receive, and that is a sad reality that your powerful platforms are not doing enough to stop these messages. There is no place for racism or hate of any kind in football or in any area of society, and to the majority of people coming together to call out the people sending these messages by taking action and reporting these comments to the police, and by driving out the hate by being kind to one another, we will win. Love always wins. Bukayo Saka. There we go.
Yeah,
it's an amazing statement, and he is just... I'm just so proud that he's an Arsenal player, an England player.
Hope he bounces back from it, and it makes him a better player. And one day he can avenge the demons from that night regarding the penalty miss.
I think he will. I remember Jose Mourinho was saying on the radio the other day. He said, "I lost a semi-final, and the penalty takers who missed for him were Kaká, Sergio Ramos, Cristiano Ronaldo."
Can you imagine?
And actually, listen, Mourinho is kind of an enemy of Arsenal, but sometimes he's got a beautiful way of putting things into perspective, and that is just so true. So, Bukayo Saka, thank you for that message. You didn't, we were talking about this. We were saying, we've not had anything from Saka yet, but that wasn't because we were waiting for it. That was because we noticed that a few other players had posted stuff. But we all said he doesn't need to do anything. He needs to just go and rest and relax and just enjoy the time off. But the fact that he wanted to speak out about it, and I'm talking the penalty incident here, I'm not actually talking the fallout, I'm talking about the penalty. Big fair play to him. But also speaking about what he's gone through, the off-field stuff, the fallout after, is pretty amazing for a 19-year-old to want to come out and just say it how it is, and call those platforms out directly.
100%. Yeah, I'm all for that. Because at the end of the day, it's something that's not only affected him, it's affected a couple more players around him on that same night, and many more before them.
Yeah,
this isn't just a new problem that just rose his head after a penalty shootout. This is an existing problem. It's not just a football problem, it's a world problem. And we need more people in prominent positions to speak out about it. That's why I give so much credit to Marcus Rashford for what he's done over the past year or so. And you see, me, when I was growing up, someone I really looked up to, I watched all his fights, read all his books and listened to all his stories and documentaries. That's Muhammad Ali.
Right.
And I think if there's any celebrity out there, if there's any famous person out there that represents what someone in a prominent position should be, it's him, because he put his beliefs, his people, his religion first, and he fought for it. And more people have to do that. So credit to Marcus Rashford for doing what he's done in the last year and a half. Credit to Tyrone Mings for calling that Priti Patel.
That was my favourite tweet.
And I hope there's more to come from all that, because that's what needs to happen. Sometimes these politicians think they can just tweet and say what they want. These sports people are bigger than them. And it's about time, a lot more of them start calling the nonsense out. From not only our governments across the world are, have a part to play too, but we're talking about England in particular now. And hopefully, slowly but surely, we can make some change.
Agreed. Bukayo Saka, cannot wait to see you in an Arsenal shirt again. Quite frankly, we need you.
We definitely need you.
Yeah, but also, I can't remember which pro player it was, went through some off-field stuff. Might have been John Terry. And listen, I'm not advocating for John Terry here, but I think I remember him saying playing football is kind of the best thing to get over stuff sometimes. And you hear a lot of pro players talking about playing the game and just getting back to it. So I look forward to having Saka back, because I think when he gets that standing ovation from the Emirates crowd, when he's back on the ball playing his football, I think he's going to feel good again. And I'm sure he will now, but before then. But I'm just saying, I think that's when we can give him that really kind of public, in-his-face appreciation for him. So I look forward to that for him.
100%.
Right, I'm going to leave this to you, New fan representation at Arsenal. There's been a lot of news, Arsenal Don't make it. Is it just me? Is it just when I'm on these shows? Like, do you guys have it?
Yeah, it happens.
Just relentless news.
It happens.
It's a big day. We could have had like 3 different titles.
It's true.
But anyway, I'm gonna leave it to you. New fan representation.
And I know you said you're not going to read it out, but I'll read it out because.
You're gonna okay.
As I read through, I just thought, you know what, I might as well just read it out and let's have a little debate about it. Maybe you can control the chat right now if anything pops up that you want to.
I'll have a little look. I've got it here. I'll take over. Let's play a game of spot the BS. No, I'm joking. Sorry, Arsenal.
Not very
Football
difficult
Club.
to spot.
Anyway, no, go on. This is important. So
this is on the Arsenal website. They have tweeted about it. It's come out about an hour and a half ago, and it starts off by saying, as the 2021-22 season approaches, and following discussions with supporters representatives, we are launching a number of initiatives to bring fans closer to the club. This is designed to ensure the fans' voice is increasingly central, to our decision making moving forward. To support this ambition, we are establishing an Arsenal advisory board, exclusively comprised of Arsenal fans to provide counsel to the Arsenal board on a range of predominantly off-field matters. We need the on-field to be sorted. These are talking about off-field, but okay. The Arsenal advisory board will consist of elected representatives from the Arsenal Independent Supporters Association, the Arsenal Supporters Trust, the Gay Gooners, Domestic and International Supporters Club, Arsenal Disabled Supporters Association, and the Fans Forum representative for 18 to 24-year-old fans. These groups have been identified as they represent large numbers of Arsenal's diverse global community. I wonder if there's any more large organisations that represent Arsenal's diverse global community out there.
I can't think of any.
I wonder if there's the biggest. Let's not talk too much. We can get into that at a later date, people. Fan representatives will be elected by their constituent groups, and individuals will remain members for 3 years. Lock them in, sweeten them up and lock them in. 3 years. Have tea and biscuits with the board. The club will be represented on the board by Josh Kroenke, Tim Lewis, Vinay Venkatesham, Mark Gonella, and Mark Brindle. The advisory board will meet formally at least twice a season, discussing a range of topics from preserving our culture and traditions, which the Kroenkes ripped apart, and celebrating our history, which the Kroenkes are no part of.
I thought that was part of the statement.
I'm just cutting in there and giving my opinion.
Oh,
but
good.
For the first bullet point to be preserving our culture and traditions, which the Kroenkes have ruined, while celebrating our history, which the Kroenkes have not been a part of. We can't be celebrating the history of the Kroenkes.
You've set him off, guys. All right,
They set me off.
We're going to talk about Abraham. We're going to talk, and now here we go. We're back.
Bullet point 2, James. Future direction, structure of the game, both domestically and in Europe. Imagine that. Engaging and growing our support around the world.
Imagine that.
Isn't that what you lot have been trying to do for all these years? Win, and maybe the support will grow. Continuing to make a meaningful difference to those in need in our community, work at home and abroad, which should always be a priority. Our work on diversity and inclusion, in particular the fight against online abuse. Growing the profile of Arsenal women and women's football more generally. Second to last bullet point, developing revenues to maximize investment in players. Surely that's their job to develop the revenues. But here we are, they're going to talk to the fans about it. Further areas as agreed in consultation with the AA board, AA being Arsenal Advisory. I could go on where they talk about the fans forum meeting 3 times a year and so on, but I think you get the gist of where I stand on this.
Yeah, well, just about.
How did it come across to you?
It came across to me a little bit like I think Chelsea and Tottenham ones, which felt like a bit of an empty gesture a little bit. Yeah. Look, I'm going to be honest, okay, guys? I don't know what is good and what's bad in terms of Arsenal offering fans some kind of access and say in the club. Do we really want fans to have a say on the on-field issues? A board come together and they vote on whether we play a 4-3-3 and what, you know. I'm sorry, Joe, but you get what I'm trying to say, you know. So actually, I'm just going to see this as a start. It's a start, and the people who are going to be there, you know, I wish them all the best, and I hope that they.
Do they become the next targets now? Because I see in 3-4 years, the people that get voted in from AST, Gay Gooners, Disabled Fans Association, and so on from these groups, they'll be the next targets, because the fans will look around and say, you lot have been in communication with them, and the Kroenkes are just putting a new face into the firing line, in my opinion.
I trust these guys. Well, we know there's going to be limited influence. We do know that. You know, they ignored a 5,000 people protest, you know. They ignored a £2 billion bid from EC. They're still hanging around for all that, aren't they? So, but you know, I trust the people in charge. In these positions to, you know, say and do what's best for the club, and we'll see what comes of it. But I don't know if this is a good thing from Arsenal. I'm inclined to say yes, but are people maybe going to take it as better than what it really is? I don't know. Time will tell. Time will tell, won't it?
Maybe that's why we haven't signed no one yet. Maybe they want to ask the fans who we should sign this summer. So
I'll say one thing. One thing that I am pretty passionate about actually is when Josh Kroenke said that they would do a fan forum once a year, and that this kind of group would meet twice a season. That doesn't feel enough to me.
Of course, it's not enough.
I've got to say, I'm no expert on how busy these people are and how difficult it is to run these meetings or whatever, but I would think monthly.
Yeah.
There's always something going on, right, in the Arsenal community. Halloween.
Yeah.
Looking after the local community. Christmas. Whatever it might be, there's always something going on. I don't... If you want to give them a real say, you kind of give them input in all those other things off field. Because, listen, fixing a lot of the off field stuff might, you know, lead towards a better running of what happens on the inside too.
Yeah.
I've never run a football club. I don't work for any of the people who are going to be there.
The Kroenkes never run a football club before they owned it.
That is true.
Yeah, so everyone here saying
we're as qualified
about Tech, it sounds like he has run a football club. No, I haven't, but the Kroenkes didn't run a soccer club before they bought us either. And look at what they've done.
Yeah, Tally says, James, that ain't no start. That's the Kroenkes playing politics. Maybe, guys, but I'm very wary of coming on this channel, which has a massive audience, and we get a lot of viewers, and forcing an opinion that I know is not very researched. It's not based on a lot, and quite frankly, for it to be researched, I'd have to work for one of these people or work at the club. So it's a start, but I'm not overly convinced. I'm not overwhelmed by it. I'm just sort of like, a couple months late, may I add. Everyone else did it quite quickly, but
it is what it is.
That's just me. I don't know. What's your, you know, do you get where I'm coming from?
On that a couple months late thing, it looks perfect. You know, just around the time when pre-season starts, the fans are questioning why we haven't signed no one, why we're not in for people. Oh, a nice bit of news pops out at the right time. You know, Arsenal like to hold things in their back pocket and release it when they think it's right and beneficial for them. They done that last year with the Aubameyang contract. It was signed well before, and then they started doing sand timers in their bio, messing around with fans, because they know when to release stuff.
Right, yeah.
They know when a tide of negativity might be coming, or a tide of questions, and they finally just put something out there, and it's like, boom.
Yeah, we're working on things. Don't worry.
Everyone's questioning why you're not buying players. You're coming out with Amazon documentaries and telling us you're going to meet with us 2 times a year. What kind of nonsense is that? 3 times. Didn't my man say that he can use Zoom and this and that? Like he was talking about he's going to be proper engaging. He can use Microsoft Teams and Zoom.
Listen, I know the free version of Zooms is only 45 minutes a meeting, but you are allowed to do it more than once. It's not once a year.
And I'm sure they'll make a special, exception for the Kroenkes.
All right, look, let's move on from this. But that's good that it's happening, I suppose. Let's see where it takes us.
And you know what, just in now, I just saw the comment from Arsenal Supporters Trust on this whole issue here, and I just want to touch on it. And Arsenal Supporters Trust have said these proposals are very underwhelming and fail to match even the proposals made by other Premier League clubs. As this recent AST membership survey shows, Arsenal fans are extremely unhappy at how their club is being run. Thank you very much.
Well done, AST, because I just sat there and I said I don't want to judge basically what these guys are doing or their position in all this or whatever. Let's see what happens. But they've been very quick to come out and say this ain't enough, lads.
And in their membership survey on whether the Kroenke Sports and Entertainment are good owners of Arsenal Football Club, 1% voted yes, 99% voted no.
Well, it's tight, to be fair. But,
It is what it is.
Oh my word. Okay.
Have we got any super chats in?
Sorry. Mahesh says, how do you rate Wilfried Zaha? I'm a big fan. A Sanchez kind of breed, better than Willian. Well, yeah. He's an Arsenal fan. Last season, £80 million price tag. Now 35 million. At least it's a signing. If we got him. No, I think the Zaha ship has sailed, but I still think he's a very talented player. It feels to me like too much of a short-term thinking signing, so I personally wouldn't. I'd agree. Listen, I'd rather get Aouar for less than that, than And then Alex says, I think Arteta is not the problem in our club. Edu is clueless, and we should blame him and the owners for that. We should not count on Aubameyang for 2021. Quite a lot there. Arteta might not be the problem, but I mean, he's a solution. You've got to ask that. Edu, is he clueless? He's brought in some very good players, but also it feels like we're always being reactive in the market, so maybe there's something in that. And then obviously we blame the owners. In terms of Aubameyang, I think he could still have a very strong season. So
I hope so.
Yeah, right. Let's I love talking Cronkies and Arsenal.
And we got one more in here for Saim as well. Saka's character makes Saliba Guendouzi's look bad, but is it wise to value character over talent? Are we too caught up in being morally good versus good at playing? Now, there's different types of character here, Saim. I think character has let us down a lot in the last 10, 15 years because we've lacked it in the dressing room. Yeah. Now, Saka's character is one type of character that I admire and you need in dressing rooms, but you also need that experienced leadership type of character too. And we haven't had that. So I wouldn't say character over talent. Is it wise to value character over talent? I'd say character equals talent. I think you need an equal share of it to really become a success. You look at Messi's, Ronaldo's, and legends gone by, Ronaldinho, Zidane's. Their quality was matched by their character and mentality. Yeah. So I believe you really need that as well as the talent.
Agreed. I echo that. Let's end on 3 potential outgoings.
Yep.
Granit Xhaka, Willian and Willock. We'll go through the news, but I want to ask a big question to you guys watching and to you, Turkish. We kind of touched on it on Forever Arsenal, which I think is out now. Was out this in the coming hours and days. So Granit Xhaka's on the brink of leaving. That's kind of picked up a little bit today. It had gone quiet, and I've got to be honest, I started thinking we're probably going to keep him. But it looks like that's picked up, and actually Arsenal are finally willing to accept what Roma are offering. You then look at Willian. Fabrizio Romano said, he is still expected to leave. The offers just aren't right, which I can understand Arsenal wanting to wait to get that offer right. But okay, he's playing pre-season games. We'll see what happens there. Yeah. Joe Willock, though, is an interesting one for me. I got a bit of heat on Twitter. I recently deleted that tweet where I basically said if Willock leaves, why is Arteta lying to us?
Yeah.
People got very offended by the word lying. I thought, okay, well, you've taken that a bit harsh. I mean, it's not. I think the word lying always sounds stronger than maybe you mean it.
Yeah.
I basically mean, why is he kind of pulling the wool over our eyes or whatever? And I heard people saying, it'd be poor negotiation to say that Willock is he's up for sale, that we're looking to sell him, or blah blah blah. And I thought, it is poor negotiation if you're trying to sell him for 40-50 million. But this is a loan deal we're talking about. And it got me wondering basically whether our fans, do you think, we were talking about clarity from the board and clarity from people understanding what's going on. Arsene Wenger, this made me appreciate, Arsene Wenger used to keep things quiet. But did he lie to us? Did he say stuff that was just blatantly not true to serve the club? Maybe sometimes, but what I mean is, tell us something that was blatantly not true, only for it to just not, for there to be a big U-turn a couple of days later.
U-turn, Arsene Wenger. Arsene Wenger was such a stubborn man that he didn't U-turn on none of the lies he said. Unless you have an example. No,
what I'm trying to say is, Arteta came out after the game, and everyone knows I'm an Arteta fan. I try to stick up for him.
The opposite happens as to what he said, you mean? Right, not necessarily, okay, I get you.
No, that's exactly what I mean. So I'm not saying he never lied to us, but if he did, it was never quite as blatant as sometimes. And I understand that there's a degree of PR, there's a degree of looking after the club, and there's things you've got to do. You can't always be honest with the fans. I get that. But there's certain things that, why bother lying? So, for example, Saliba's going to get pre-season to prove himself. Now, they never said that directly to us, but they fed that to the media.
Yeah.
It wasn't true.
Nope.
It wasn't true. Or maybe it changed, but for it to have changed this early on, you must have known that there was a good chance that situation would change.
Yeah.
So why are you telling us this? Why are we being told by the manager himself that he's going to be backed by Stan Kroenke, he's going to be backed by the Kroenkes, that these owners have Arsenal's best interests at heart, only to be offered a pretty, let's be honest, piss poor attempt at fan representation, which even the AST have agreed with that sort of that analysis of it.
Yeah.
And then, sign one backup left back. And then Joe Willock, we're being told he has a future, he's part of our plans, but we're sending him out on loan, which by all intents and purposes has an obligation to buy. And even if it doesn't, he comes back and he's only got about a year or two left on his contract.
Yep.
So just spare us, cut the crap for a second. Joe Willock, who, by the way, I love and wish all the best because he's a Hale End boy and he gives us all when he plays for Arsenal. I want him to go and have a really successful career wherever he goes. There's nothing on him. But he is not the kind of player that you need to play,
games with.
Football politics with us on.
Yeah.
We don't need that. Just tell us what the bloody hell is going on.
Yeah.
Because my impression of what Arsenal need to do in the window is very different depending on whether Willock stays or not. Because if Willock stays, he could be a starting box-to-box goal-scoring midfielder for us. Why not? Did it for Newcastle. But no, okay, he wants to leave. Or we're looking to... Do you get my frustration? Do people get what I'm getting annoyed at here? These things aren't worth being so muddied in the water with us. It's not worth it. We just want a degree of... I went into pre-season thinking Willock and Saliba were going to be a part of it and maybe have a chance, and now they don't. So what are Arsenal doing? Because we don't look close to signing any midfielders. I've ranted enough.
Yeah, that's what would make me think that Willock will stay, and this latest news comes from nowhere. But then again, this is Arsenal Football Club, and making it make sense seems to be impossible over here. So that would just be another example of stupidity. I was someone that towards the end of the season said, listen, regardless of his performances for Newcastle, you sell him. You sell him because he's going to be at his highest value point this summer. Then you look at the summer we've had so far, we've already lost, I say lost, it's hardly lost. Ceballos has gone back, Guendouzi's gone to Marseille, Xhaka's on the way. That's 3 central players already, 2 of which was part of the first team squad last season. You got Lokonga in, cool, but he's not coming in as first team. And you just got to look at...
He might have to, He might have to be brilliant. And I'm actually not joking.
You're right, you're not. Because at the end of the day, next to Partey, if we go in with the same central midfield group, next to Partey is going to be a choice of Willock, El Nene or Lokonga.
Yeah.
We don't have anyone. Or Torreira if he stays.
Yeah.
And, it's not like one of them is 30, and the ones you'd put more towards the top is you'd want to see Lokonga there because he's the new signing, or you'd want to see Willock there who had a good end of season with Newcastle, if that was the choice we had.
I've never known a club to fluff their line so much with a loan player who goes on completely and utterly... How would you rate his loan spell? 10 out of 10 for me.
Whose loan spell?
Joe Willock.
10 out of 10, yeah, they definitely...
I mean, let's be honest.
Definitely.
You couldn't have asked for a better loan spell. Goes to a club that has enormous pressure from its fan base, enormous pressures with everything going on. In a relegation battle. Scores 7 goals, 8 goals, or whatever. Keeps them up. Goals against... was it Man City scored against? Liverpool, against Tottenham, Leicester.
Yeah.
Against all those sides. And then we go, loan. We'll loan him again.
Yeah, listen... Loan shouldn't be on the table. It's either you keep
unless the obligation to buy is a nice healthy amount and you know that that's coming in.
Yeah.
Because you can do Newcastle a favour and say, all right, you've not had fans in the ground, we understand you can't pay this up front, but we want to secure this money now.
Yeah.
Secure it. We don't get it, but we get it in a year. I'm cool with
that's
that.
Fair.
I'm cool with that. But if it's just a simple loan with like an option or an obligation if he plays 25 games or something, that will really annoy me.
Yeah.
I'd rather have kept him. He's proven he can do it at this level. He has more than proven that he can score goals at this level.
Against good opposition.
Against very good opposition. And why can't we... are we really saying that Partey as a defensive midfielder, Willock as a box-to-box, and Smith Rowe kind of floating as the 10? Listen, that might be all right.
Yeah, well, let's hope so, because it looks like it's going to be a reality.
Well, no, Willock's off.
Off where?
to Newcastle.
Is it really happening?
I think so. I think it's happening.
I don't know. I really, you know what? Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm not. If we lose, that's the 4th, and Xhaka will be the 5th. No, that we've lost to what? Torreira would be the 5th. 5 central, which is the right thing to do.
Willock, Xhaka,
Torreira, and
but Torreira's staying, I think.
Oh fuck, then, isn't it?
Do you know what's incredible? Is I keep thinking about this squad as last season's squad, but there are players who have come back.
Yeah, but they can't do that to us. They can't send a player on loan one season, bring it back, and then us fans say, "No, we didn't have him last season, so it feels like a new one." It feels like those Wenger days when he used to tell us, "Yeah, it feels like a new player coming back."
All I'll say is I understand Arteta can't sit there and say, yeah, we're desperate to sell Willock, we're desperate to get rid of him, we're desperate to get rid of Xhaka, we're just waiting for the right buyers, because that doesn't do Arsenal any favours. But you also don't have to say he's a part of our plans. I know someone's caught him saying, I think he said he's a part of our plans while he is here.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, maybe that was him trying to hint, but for me,
even that is still like
I just think you can just say Willock's had an injury, he missed out. He's our player, and that's it. Like, you don't have to say a lot.
We get to decide the best.
He's our player. Yeah, we're sort of deciding what's because we actually want a bit of transparency with these sort of players. I don't think that's going to ruin your negotiations that much. But then, maybe what do I know? Maybe what the hell do I know? I
agree. Bubakar here says Arsenal have so many young talent: Willock, Nelson, Nketiah, Saliba, Balogun, etc. Unfortunately, we don't have the manager to get the best from them.
Yeah,
I don't think I agree completely, but I get your drift.
Joe says James, like most of AFTV, is willing to believe the most negative stuff out there. Joe, I really do try to look at the positive side of things. I think, by the way, that AFTV has some of the most positive fans. In Ty, Kelechi, DT all year has championed Arteta. We've all been patient throughout the year. Cecil's incredibly positive. But let's just stop for a second. In a summer of mass rebuild that was leaked to all the mainstream press, we have signed a backup left back. And we're in pre-season now. That's just not good enough. Not on the back of 2 8th place finishes. Now, there was an FA Cup in there. Cool, that was great fun. And I don't knock those. Those are amazing. Those are some of my favourite days as an Arsenal fan. Even for other fans a bit older than me who have seen it all, they'll still treasure those FA Cups, even if it wasn't a year where we finished 8th. But we got to start holding the club accountable, because it's been on a downward trajectory for quite a few years now. And it's time to just be a little bit more hard-hitting.
I think so.
Not just take what they say and gobble it up and be delighted. So when they say fan representation, maybe a few years ago we'd have gone, wait, yes, we got what we wanted. Now we're going, no, let's see that contract. Bring it here.
Catching up to do.
What the fuck is this? What the hell is that? Don't need this. What are you talking about? Twice a year. This is crap. Go back again. Like, I think it's important we scrutinise that little bit more and just have a closer eye on what and things going on. And the best example, I always use this, is when we signed Thomas Partey last year, and we all loved it and it was great, and I'm still delighted we signed him, but it papered over the cracks of what we really needed. And that is, I don't know. Anyway, Arsenal have paid for that over the years.
You're bang on though, man. Listen, you're gonna have a lot of people that will tell you to wait, be patient. The transfer window's not over yet. It's only pre-season. It's only game 1. We've got 250 million to spend. Give them a chance. Give him a chance. All of that nonsense. When in reality, it's been 17 years of this owner. Listen, Man United are closing on Varane, which I've just seen. So,
others around us are strengthening. And the mad thing is, for everything United have done, the money they spent and where they are with Ollie, I thought with a good window we could catch them. I never felt that they were this outstanding side, but they're pulling even further away. I don't see Spurs being worse next season. Chelsea certainly won't be worse. Liverpool will get better. City don't have to get better, and they might even win it. I'm concerned. I'm concerned at how things can turn around. Of course it can, but I'm a little bit concerned at where we are. But anyway,
that's a big signing for United, and that makes me sick as well. Having grown up in an era where Arsenal and United were fighting it out at the top of the league, it's sad because the last 8 years United ain't won the title either, and last 4 years they haven't won a trophy.
Yeah.
That's been a little, for me and the friendship groups I have, there's a lot of United fans. It's been a little shining light that I can throw in there amongst all the Arsenal banter that there is. But United try and improve. They try and make it out of the situation they're in. They build, they develop. If it doesn't work, they sell, they buy. Like that's the bare minimum. The bare minimum I expect is to show some ambition.
Yeah,
that's what I'm asking for from a new owner. I can't ask that from Kroenke anymore because he doesn't have any to show.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And YM here says we're going into next season with a midfield of Partey, El Nene, Lokonga, and Jack Henry Francis, aren't we?
I quite liked him the other day. I thought he was good.
But
yeah, can't depend on him. But he was good.
Listen, Hibernian, he came on when it was 1-0.
Listen, considering some of the stinkers we saw out there, I actually thought he looked quite good.
Well,
like what I mean is, I think sometimes people go, yeah, but it's Hibs.
You know what I saw from him? He was proud to be out there playing for Arsenal.
Yeah, he wanted to get on the ball.
From him.
I thought he had a bit of zip about him. Just sort of wanted to get on the ball, give it, move, get it again.
Yeah,
it was good. It was bright.
Back into the under 23s he goes next season.
Okay, but football one day he'll be ready. Maybe
one day, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, listen.
You really are. You really are the inspiration, aren't you?
Listen, I'm all for the Halen boys and the youngsters making it through. It's just that right now I feel like we've got enough youngsters in our squad. I feel like it's time to sign players now.
Let's bring him in when he's ready, not because we're desperate and have no one.
Yes, and when we're ready, so we can support him in the best possible way.
Very, very true. All right, well, look, I think that's pretty much it, Turkish. Another busy day.
Yep,
it's pretty relentless.
Hit the
at
like
this
button
club.
if you haven't already, people.
That's
only 500 likes there. Get up to 1,000 before the show ends.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. Turkish, thank you for joining me.
Come on, bro.
Guys, go check out AFTV VIP as always. Links in the description below for all exclusive content. $2.99 a month, but there is a 2-week free trial. Go check out all sorts of shows that aren't there on YouTube. Honestly, some of my favourite go on that app. Go get it. Go watch Cecil do How's Your Touch. Go watch the Forever Arsenal podcast where we really go in on some Arsenal stuff, especially this week. And yeah, guys, listen. There's always a quick turnaround in football. Sometimes it's a funny old game, right? Things can turn around very, very quickly. But let's just also just have a degree of context, and let's just hold this club to a higher standard. Cool, some news out there about fan representation and stuff. But is that good enough? Is that what we want? Is that gonna fill the void that we're talking about? Yeah. I'm not so sure, and I think it's important we question these things. Let's not let our manager tell us that he's going to be back to all summer. And when he's not, just go, well, it can't be his fault. No, you told us that. Let's just have a degree of accountability at the club.
Exactly.
But in my old deluded way, I still have a feeling that they might pull through or something. So let's see what happens.
I hope they do what you feel and not what I know.
Oh no, that was ominous. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you tomorrow.
Nice one.